Hello, you are listening to OmniTalk Retail Fast 5, brought to you in partnership with the A&M Consumer and Retail Group, Firework, SPS Commerce, and Sezzle. Right, Chris, headline number one, Nike is planning a network of fitness boutique studios. According to Retail Dive, Nike is opening a boutique fitness concept in partnership with FitLab. The studio concept will offer live classes, and the first location is in LA later this year. It's opening. The studios will be open to everyone 18 and older and will include Nike training studios, which will focus on functional strength training, and Nike running studios, which also focus on endurance workouts. Retail Dive went on to add that currently the retailer is offering an unlimited workout membership at the studios for $99 per month for founding members. But those founding members must also pay $49 to, quote, reserve a spot, end quote, as a founding member. Finally, Chris, once the studios open, Nike also plans to offer drop-in rates and unlimited monthly workouts with prices varying by location. Chris, I cannot wait to hear what you think about this. This came out on Friday, and I was like, oh my God, this is massive.
You were
news.
all over social media on this. My hunch is you love this, but
okay,
that's my guess.
Okay,
but
okay.
I don't know. For me, and I don't know where I stand on this. Like, I'm kind of split, and
okay,
I'm kind of hedging. I'm kind of hedging more towards the side of I don't like it. As you can probably tell from the way I'm talking about it. Yeah.
I can tell you seem a little like constipated in thought.
Constipated in thought. That's a good way to describe me generally in life, and constipated in thought. But yeah, I mean, the reason I don't like it is because essentially when I pull back the covers on this, it's like Nike's getting into the gym business, which is one of the worst, most competitive spaces around. Like, it's just really hard to do it. It's hard to keep up with the trends and honestly the fads that come along with the gym business. And so, like, you know, I have to ask the question strategically, like, why is Nike better than all the thousands of other options of gyms that are going to be around? Is it because it's branded Nike? I mean, that's a bridge that's a little too far for me. So then I look at the announcement. I'm like, okay, it sounds like they're doing this with a partner. So it gets into a little bit of the like Four Seasons running a property under that brand name in the hotel industry. It's kind of akin to that, right?
Okay.
Which makes it a little better, but my gut tells me that we're going to see a few of these. They're not going to take off like gangbusters. They're going to be hard to run. The industry's so fatty, like I said before. It's not going to go anywhere, is what my gut tells me. But I don't know. Prove me wrong. And so, like I said, my hunch is you love this. My gut tells me you love this, but I think I'm negative on this one.
Are you? And then that's fatty with a DDY, not fatty with a TTY.
Yeah, that would be fat PHATN. You know.
Okay.
Yes, it's fatty FAD.
Yes, I can understand all of your points. I think it makes sense. You know, it's hard to find economies of scale when you start getting into physical property. I think that's a big issue, like you're talking about with the, you know, the actual build outs of the gyms. But I think that there's a lot of coulds, I will say, in the statement I'm about to make. There's a lot of opportunity, especially when you start to think about, you know, what Nike is bringing to the table here. And I think that the closest comparison that I can figure out, and if I was Peloton in this case, I would be very concerned. Peloton really hasn't had a worthwhile competitor so far. And I think that with Nike getting into this, again, this is not something that all brands can do. This is something that Nike specifically is trying to do. And I think what Nike's doing with this is taking all the best parts of Peloton, which they already have, the workout anywhere, when you want it, how you want it. They already have that with the Nike Training Club that has a comparable number of subscribers already to what Peloton has, surprisingly. And so I think if you take that and you start to explore what you can do inside of a Nike store or adjacent to a Nike store with some of these workout programs, I think is worth the experiment for Nike. I'm a little surprised it took them this long to do it. But I think the other part of this is that You also have Nike's flywheel that's funding this that Peloton does not have. You have all of the operations from, the apparel, from all of the other community organized events that they already have going that can help fund this or maybe sustain these tests a little bit longer than any other competitor could do. Certainly like Lululemon or somebody who's also tried to get into this similar space. But the last point I'd make, and I think that what is interesting is, part of the value of what Nike can do here, again, with that flywheel, is take some of these instructors that people follow. Like, that's why people go to Peloton. It's the instructors, it's the community, it's the convenience. And I think Nike has more power if they wanted to turn those trainers, those trainer influencers, into more of like a Nike athlete sort of level. And I don't think anybody else can do that. So I think that there's a lot of potential here that if Nike executes this in the right way, they could have a lot of success here. They could present a challenger to Peloton. It's just going to depend on how they can get these operations running as efficiently as possible and how they can scale them as quickly. Because the last thing I'll add is if you don't have convenience, if you can't pay off, like I have a club that's around the corner for me, or, as close as the nearest shopping mall or wherever the Nike store is, like if that's not open for me, you lose people. And that's the missing component here that Nike, I think, is able to offer.
Yeah, I mean, I think honestly, I don't. None of those points convinced me. Actually,
All
the
right.
other point too, like the membership's pretty cheap, right? $99, like that's pretty cheap, right, for a gym membership. So it makes me wonder why they're not going more upmarket with this. But that's another point. No, I mean, the reason it's not convincing me, Anne, is you look at what else has been going on in the industry with the people you mentioned. So Peloton, why hasn't if this is such a great idea? Why hasn't Peloton been able to get their in-person studios to work in any other city outside of New York? Like, that seems like the easiest goddamn thing to make happen out there, and they can't do it. Lululemon,
but Nike's doing it. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Nike's trying to do it.
Trying to do it.
So,
and has the funding to back it up. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I know. And then also Lululemon, like that, you use them too. Like, they've been building their stores out, with some of these, studios inside them. Seems like they've pulled back on that as a strategy too, or we're just not hearing as much about it. Like when we went to check out that store in Chicago, where that was full on experience. We took a class there with Gideon. Remember that Gideon? But
Get fit with Giddy. Yeah.
We got fit with Gideon, but like, it seems like they're pulling back on that too. So I think this is much harder to do well than people are probably realizing and getting excited in this announcement.
For sure.
All right. So should we keep rolling then?
Yes.
You're good? All right. Well, headline number 2 is really interesting. Wawa is testing a fully shelfless store in Philadelphia. And every time I write shelfless in my notes, Ann, it goddamn autocorrects to sleeveless. It's really frustrating.
I like sleeveless digital stores too. I mean,
it's kind of the same thing.
It's summertime. Take those sleeves off.
Hey, it is Philly. Shout out to Evan. Shout out to Evan, loyal listener.